Hey guys, welcome back for chapter 15 of 1 Corinthians. This is one of the closing chapters of the book, and the emphasis is all about Jesus and his resurrection. Lots of good stuff to cover. Let's kick it off. You're watching the Bible Vlog. So before we get into the chapter, it's important to understand a little bit about Paul's audience, who he was writing this to in Corinth. See, one of the key things that Paul goes over in this chapter when it comes to even believing in Christ is the resurrection. Now, to the Greeks back then, this idea of a dead body coming back to life was completely seen as ludicrous. Now, they believed that the body was the barrier to the immortal soul, and therefore, to obtain goodness, you needed to actually escape your body. This is where Paul had to fight back on the idea that Jesus truly did rise from the dead in his physical body. Look at what he tells the Corinthian church in verses 12 through 14. Now, if Christ is preached that he has been raised from the dead, how do some among you say that there is no resurrection of the dead? But if there is no resurrection of the dead, then Christ is not risen. And if Christ is not risen, then our preaching is empty and your faith is also empty. Paul is trying to emphasize here that if you don't believe in the resurrection, then you don't even have faith in Christ. Now that's bold, but it's true. He's showing the far-reaching implications of what it means if the resurrection never actually happened. Listen carefully. Christianity, all of it, depends on the real physical resurrection of the dead body of Jesus Christ. If that did not happen, then it's all a lie. That is how profound this event was. Now look over at verses 21 through 22. For since by man came death, by man also came the resurrection of the dead. For as in Adam all die, even so in Christ all shall be made alive. Now skip ahead to verses 25 through 26. For Christ must reign until he has put all enemies under his feet. The last enemy that will be destroyed is death. Now, a couple of things that I love here. Paul beautifully illustrates how by Adam sin entered the world, but by Jesus freedom and life entered instead. One man separated us from God, and one man brought us back to God. Also notice in verse 26 that death is described as an enemy. You know, recently a really close friend of mine had their father pass away. And while I was talking with him about what happened, there was kind of this moment where we both just acknowledged that death is just not natural. Now, yes, we obviously have to deal with it in this life, but you can just feel and see that it was never meant to be. It feels wrong. The separation is just not something that feels like it was ever supposed to happen. And the truth is that it wasn't. God never intended for us to taste death, but it's ultimately what sin leads to. The Bible says in the book of James that sin, when it is full grown, brings forth death. Never get it mistaken. Death is an enemy, but in the future it will be destroyed. Now, all of this is leading up to one major point that Paul is about to make, and that's that the resurrection of Jesus wasn't just about him alone coming back to life. It's also a foreshadowing of something else that is to come, which is when all the believers, all of those who believe in Christ, both those alive and those who have passed away, will rise to meet Jesus when he returns. Look at verses 51 through 57. Behold, I tell you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet will sound, and the dead will be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So when this corruptible is put on incorruption, and this mortal is put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, Death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is your sting? O Hades, where is your victory? The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. But thanks be to God who gives us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ. Now, no one knows when this will happen. We're not given a time when Jesus will return, only signs to look for that will point to his coming. But I love how Paul refers to this event speed as happening in the twinkling of an eye, in just a moment. I mean, blink your eyes. That is how fast you are with Jesus. You won't even know that it happened. Death will ultimately be defeated when Jesus returns, and that is a day I cannot wait for. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being here today. You know I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Come back tomorrow for the final chapter of the week and the last chapter of this book before starting the next one. Hope you guys have a beautiful day. You know I love your faces. I will see you back here tomorrow.